So what's going on, Ricardo? What you working?
Check 1 2 1 2 check 1 2.
It's just the entering drive.
so funny, Madam Clerk. Good evening. This meeting is now called to order. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis.
Trustee Lewis is on the train and will be here shortly, for the record.
Trustee McFadden.
Present.
Trustee Fulcher.
Present.
Trustee Thompson.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Trustee Brooks. Mayor Rudy.
I am here, Madam Clerk. Please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Sergeant Glowinski, are there any public comments regarding for this first public comment section? And just for a new decorum of order in here, we're going to be doing this first public comments will only be addressing agenda items only. If they're not agenda items at the first section, then the other general public at the end before adjournment, we'll do just open general public comments. Thank you. Ms. Millie, is this something for the regarding the agenda?
What is the agenda?
This is for the special meeting, and this is regarding a presentation. These are some presentations regarding our firefighters, life-saving awards, our swearing in of a new firefighter, and our swearing in of a new police officer, and the first reading of the 2024 budget and bills payable.
I think it's appropriate for this.
As long as it's agenda based, Ms. Millie, it is your time to go to the podium. You do have 3 minutes now to start your questions, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. I am commonly known as Miss Millie, Mildred Morgan. And I say it's appropriate because this is in no regards to the new staff that's coming on, be it fire or police. But Mayor Rudez, we don't think that you're in your right mind. And what we need
Chief, this is only for agenda items only. If there isn't a question about the item on the agenda, please have a seat and wait to the end of this meeting.
It has everything
Because I'm not going to tolerate that tonight.
Excuse me. I have my 3 minutes.
Okay, but you don't have it now. If it isn't regarding this agenda, we're going to move on to the next person.
Let's have a seat. Come on, let's have a seat, please.
You say that this
Ms.
agenda
Millie,
is what?
Let's have a seat. Let's have a seat and wait. Otherwise, I'm not going to ask you.
That's the stuff I be talking about.
At the next public comment.
At the next comment?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, trustee. Item F1A will be a presentation of the ILACP, Illinois Association of Chief of Police, in recognition for the great life-saving awards to Officer Wynn and Gabert. So, tell the story, Chief.
I'm going to move this up here.
Yes, sir.
And turn this around. You know what? We don't need it. So, I have two officers here, Officer Lynn and Officer Gibber, who on several occasions took such actions that saved lives of people. When I say save lives, I mean those people wouldn't be here today. And their actions were such of stature that they've been recognized by the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. Illinois Associations of Chiefs of Police, which I'm a part of, is the umbrella organization that represents law enforcement in Illinois. And so out of, can you imagine, the hundreds of thousands of police officers in Illinois and all the things that they do every day, these two officers were recognized for coming to work, doing their job, then they save lives. And so we're going to go in order of appearance here. Could Officer Michael Gebert please come up?
Hey, Chief, would you just be a little descriptive and let people know what he actually did?
I am.
All right, all right.
So, Over here, Mike. Stand next to me. I want you all in the middle of this. So, Officer Michael Gebert is awarded the 2023 Life Saving Award. In grateful recognition, this award is presented to Michael Gebert of the University Park Police Department for your commitment, bravery, and excellence in law enforcement. This special recognition honors your heroic efforts from an incident that occurred in 2023. So Officer Gebert and other members of the University Park Police Department responded to children, babies, hanging out of a 5th floor window. And I'm not saying that the window was open and you just see them. No, they're hanging out there. Their feet little feet dangling from the window. Officer Gebert rushed up 5 flights of stairs. You know, didn't wait for the elevator, ran up 5 flights of stairs, forced the door open, and snatched the 2, how old were they? The 2-year-old twins. Yeah, 2-year-old twins who were sitting on the windowsill with their feet hanging from an open 5th floor window. A moment longer, you know how 2-year-olds are, right? They wiggle this way, they wiggle that way. I think a comment was made that the only thing that was keeping them inside that apartment, inside that windowsill, was their diapers. And so, I mean, rushed up those 5 flights of stairs, rushed past people, got up to the 5th floor. I don't know about you, but, you know, rushing up 5 flights of stairs to get there in time enough from the time he got there and from the time that he was able to snatch those 2 children from that window, he undoubtedly saved their lives. Other members in the University Park Police Department was hanging out under the window, you know, just to make sure they catch them. And so they deserve special recognition too. Officer Pearman, he was there. But it was Officer Michael Gebert that ran up those 5 flights of stairs, forced the door open, and snatched those 2-year-old twins from that window. And because of that...
Hey, y'all stand up. Y'all stand up for that man. Y'all stand up for that man.
Yes.
That don't happen. Y'all stand up and give a man a round of applause.
And again, I want to say that, think about it, the hundreds of thousands of police officers, law enforcement in Illinois, Officer Michael Gebert wins one of these awards and special recognition. So I want to thank you as your chief. Thanks, sir. And as part of this community, thank you again for, you know, saving those 2-year-olds' lives.
Thank you.
All right?
Hey, man.
Why don't you go shake her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cat-like reflexes. You know, that's an athlete right there. And also, I'm sorry, I give this to him when he gets back. He will also have a pin that he's authorized to wear on his University Park uniform to signify that he won this award. Everybody doesn't have this. Okay, so the moment you see it, you know he did something great. Here you go, Mike.
Watch out now.
Want to take a picture? We should look.
You see, Mike's a quiet dude. You don't see him out there talking. What's you? Sounded like you're telling me everything. There you go.
Thank you. Again, let's give him a round of applause. So if that wasn't enough that we had this great officer that's working here for the University Park Police Department, the same year we have another officer, Officer Charles Wynn. Could you come up here, please, sir? And this shows you the caliber of the police officer you have here working for you and supporting you and protecting you here at in University Park. So, Officer Charles Wynn working in recognition, grateful recognition, this award is presented to Officer Charles Wynn of the University Park Police Department for your commitment, bravery, and excellence in law enforcement. This special recognition honors your heroic efforts for an incident that occurred in 2023 that Officer Wynn, while on patrol, you want to hold that? While on patrol, there was an incident that happened over on Burnham Drive where someone was, something happened where their life was in jeopardy. Officer Wynn responded and immediately reverted back to his training and reverted back to his knowledge and know-how and offered life-saving efforts to keep that person alive until the University Park firefighters could get there and paramedics could get there. And as we know, in some crucial incidents, it's the first couple of seconds, the first couple of minutes that will save a life. And we appreciate the University Park Fire Department from getting there to help out, but it was Officer Wynn, I'm messing with those guys there in the back. It was Officer Wynn that applied life-saving measures that saved this young man's life, where not only did he survive, but later that night he was conscious and he was able to talk to us. And it was a life-endangering incident, where I'll be honest with you, other time he probably wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for Officer Wynn getting there in time and using those efforts, he wouldn't be here. So let's give him a round of applause.
All right.
And I cannot say it enough. He literally had this young man's life in his hands. His life was literally in his hands. You can take the inference of that. And so I want to make sure that he has this pen also. And again, I want you to understand the caliber of the police officer you have here at University Park. Out of the hundreds of thousands of police officers who come to work every day and exhibit bravery and heroics, we got 2 of them in the same year that received the life-saving award.
That's wonderful, beautiful.
Out of hundreds of thousands, out of thousands that were submitted, these 2 young men were. So again, let's give them a round of applause, and we'd like to thank them. And so on behalf of the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to serve you here at University Park. Take a picture with them in a second.
I was there. The man was up against the tree. That was me. I was right there. Yeah, I saw you. Good work. Yep, that was it.
I stand this a little bit.
I don't know. Good job. Congratulations.
Come up here. Let's take a picture. And then, Mr. Mayor, you want to come take a picture with both of us together? Thank you again.
Okay, well, I should have just stayed at the podium, but item F1B is swearing in of new police officer Brandon Davis.
All right.
All right, Mr. Davis. And he showed us good that dress hat on.
So, you know, in today's environment, it's a beautiful thing when we're able to swear in a brand new police officer. We have here a young police officer that comes to us by way of, from the Harvey Police Department. Came highly recommended. We vetted him. We went through his background, squeaky clean, and it was highly recommended by his supervisors and other people that work with him. He's a local young man, grew up in Park Forest, but he spent a lot of time, according to him, he spent a lot of time in University Park. Went to high school locally, certified police officer, brings several certifications and a lot of energy, has his degree from NYU, that's New York University, And he's been with us for the past 2 months, and we're getting him sworn in here, and he's shown his commitment to the people of University Park. He could have went anywhere to be a police officer, but he chose to be a police officer here and to police your community. And so we would like to swear him in officially here at the University Park Police Department, and we'd like to thank him for his service.
Thank you.
No, we're good. We should be all right.
I'm going to read her, and I'm going to say that you swear affirm. You choose whether swearing or affirm. Okay.
See, you go nervous. You're going to have some man right here.
So what do you need me to say? Just say,
Just kind of repeat
Just
after
say,
her.
accept.
do this, don't solely swear.
Raise your right hand. Get this right. And repeat after me.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell you what you do to these things.
I,
I,
Brandon Davis,
Brandon Davis,
having been duly appointed
having been duty appointed
to the office of police officer
to the office of police officer
in and for the Village of University Park,
in and for the Village of University Park,
counties of Will and Cook, Illinois,
counties of Will and Cook, Illinois,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of police officer
I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the police officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
All right, congratulations.
I apologize, but I'm going to ask several people to come up so we can take pictures with Officer Davis. First, I'm going to lead off. Can members of the University Park Police Department come up? Up here, we're going to take pictures with Officer Davis. Mike?
Mayor?
So, you know, it's
Don't crowd.
short people in the front.
don't know what I did with that. Okay, I'm in the bag. I got J's on.
All right. Thank you guys so much. All right. Item F1C, swearing in. I'll just wait till you all get ready for me to talk. All right. Item F1B, swearing in of new firefighter Jeremy McKinney.
You got
Hi, my name is Chief Richards. While they're getting themselves situated, I'd like to introduce Jeremy. Jeremy came from Glenwood Fire Department, Richmond Park Fire Department, and now has chosen to make University Park Fire Department his home. We are ecstatic to have him. We're honored because, as the police chief had mentioned, how hard it is to get candidates to come to work anywhere. The fact that Jeremy chose us as a home says a lot about our department, but also says a lot about Jeremy. He wants to be a part of an excellent community, wants to be part of an excellent department. So with that being said, I'd like to swear him in. As soon as he's sworn in, we have a tradition in the fire department that the candidate would pick someone who will then appoint his badge to his chest, and I will ask for his grandmother and his mother to come up as soon as we're done.
All right, all right.
Let's raise your right hand.
Right hand raised. Yeah.
Repeat it.
I'm sorry.
Jeremy McKinney,
Jeremy McKinney,
having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
to the office of firefighter
to the office of firefighter
in and for the village of University Park,
in and for the village of University Park,
counties of Will and Cook, Illinois,
counties of Will and Cook, Illinois,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of firefighter
of the office of firefighter
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
beautiful thing.
Excellent. If I can have his shift come up and take pictures real quick, and then any of his friends that'd like to come up too.
He had me wagered 60-40 that I would not win and go 8-0. I did it and won. Fantasy Pros. Just pay attention to the data. Pay attention to your data. So say like if they tell you, what's his name, like Lamb, C.D. Lamb. If C.D. Lamb, you know C.D. Lamb will play, right? But if you see there's a report on him, don't put your money on him, Joe. Don't put your money on him.
I'm gonna check that out.
Fantasy Pros.
Let's rock him in.
Exciting, man.
All right, let's get back to order. Item F1D. Everybody here? D, that's what I said. I said D, Madam Clerk. Okay, item FD as in David. First reading of 2024-25 budget. Is there a motion? Moved by Lewis. Second. Second by McFadden. Questions, Donna? Hey, Mickey, tell him to push outside. Just tell him to go outside. It's nice out, guys. Okay, we did a first and a second. There's a motion by Lewis, a second by McFadden, and I had the question. Donna, did you have some questions?
Yes, I have some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a couple things, there were several things that I seen that I had questions on. Am I going to be addressing this to Chris? I'm addressing to you, right? Sure. Okay, so for the first thing, on page 2 of the budget, it's a head tax, and you got 2 separate lines for head tax. What's the difference? You got the employee head tax and the other one is head tax. What's the second one for?
And just for the record, everybody, while Chris is looking for that, the purpose of just trying to get this first reading done so we can go ahead with the publishing, and then after the first reading done, then the board and everybody else can make their suggestions or recommendations after then. But in order for us to move in a progressive way, if we just pass the first reading, then the second and third reading, everybody can make their suggestions or anything else. So that's the purpose of just having one reading on.
But it's still, you could have the questions now.
Oh, yeah.
Which could alleviate.
I just want to let the public know what's going on.
Okay.
It should all be in the same line item. I don't know why it got separated because I believe in an earlier version it was all combined. It should be one line item because it's the same account number.
Okay, so that's going to be combined? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is on the one that was presented to the board.
No, I didn't see that. The one I had. And with the packet. So in the packet, it shows both.
You're right. Okay. It should be just one.
Okay.
Combine that and for the final copy it will be in one line item.
Okay, I know if something was new happening. Okay. For the on page 8. I see that there's a lot of consolidating of the committees, right? This is on the committees and commissions. So for the boy, girl, and youth programs, I see that's been added, but the amount that was originally budgeted for is not being included in the new line item. So I believe it's now, it used to be the Boys, Girls, Scouts Youth Program, and now it's been switched to Youth Committee. So with the Youth Committee, the amount is saying, budgeted amount is $10,000. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, but the Boys and Girls Program, that was something that we had agreed and committed to, where it was the minimum of $20,000. So that's not being accounted for in the Youth Committee part.
So my understanding is a lot of your guys' youth committees or committees that were once upon a time in the Boy and Girl Scouts, they are for profit, so to speak, where they get donations, and it wasn't going to be fully funded by the village. That's from when we were in our finance committee, a lot of them said that we will fund, or the village will fund a portion of it, but we will not take care of all of it. That's why we decreased it from $20,000 to $10,000.
Right, so the amount that was being reimbursed, what was agreed upon, was to be the $6,000 for the organizations. So this has been going on for years, where we reimbursed it for an amount of $6,000, and the groups that was out there was, I believe it was 4.
So, I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So, you guys on average pay $24,000 to these groups?
That was the amount, not to say it was $6,000 max per organization. And at the time, it was, I believe it's 4. So 4 times the 6 is the 24. So that still should be accounted for and put into the youth committee like it has been. That's what I'm saying. And it's not, and I'm not saying that.
As of last year, you guys only paid one committee. There was only one group that you guys paid those funds to.
It was one group. I know another group has submitted their receipt, and I see on bills payable, there's another group that's being reimbursed $6,000. So it's still going to be those groups asking for those reimbursements. It just didn't happen at that time.
Okay, I can work to include that. If that's what everyone would like, I can work to include that, raise that budget line up to $24,000. That's what everyone would like.
Because that's covering just those. So I don't know what all this youth committee consists of. That's what I'm saying. Because you only have 10,000. So what else is the youth committee supposed to be taking care of?
That's all youth programs that the village is going to run would be encompassed into that $20,000. Since last year was only 6, that's part of the reason why we figured 10,000 was enough, since last year was only 6. So if you had one person coming in for reimbursement, that still left another 4,000 for the village to spend on other youth programs. If the village expectation is that we're going to have 4 different groups come in for reimbursement, then we can raise the levy or the budget line to whatever the village deems appropriate based on the numbers that know will be expected.
And that's what we had agreed upon.
And I think that the organization that's on this bills payable, we had not done that before.
They have. They received it.
I think it skipped a year because I don't think we did it last year.
They received it last year. They did receive it last year, too.
It was 1 year they skipped.
Who's that, Donna?
The Flames.
Illinois Flames?
Yeah, they received it several.
I think it was a lot that we were saying $18,000 total.
We said 18 because that just covered the
That
3.
covered everybody, 6 apiece.
The 3 groups, but then it was for other stuff that was happening in University Park that we were saying we don't want to exclude any other potential organization. That's why it was increased to an additional amount.
So you guys got the opportunity to look at it, play with it, look at it, because trustee is right about that dollar figure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll raise it to 24.
Okay.
And do you still want to leave the 10,000 in the youth committee as well?
Well, that's is.
Or you want it to all be?
Remember that I think he was saying that whole Boys, Girl Scouts youth program was being taken out. So it's going to be rolled into the youth committee. So it'd be the 24 in the youth committee.
Okay, and then same thing on the same page. So it looks like we're rolling up all the committees, the other committees, like the veterans, with economic development, code enforcement, planning commission. First off, planning and zoning commission, I don't understand why they're budgeted any money. What is the purpose of planning commission receiving a budget?
For things like training books, training, like the Robert's Rules of Order. It's for publication and things like that that come, that comes out of that line item.
Okay, so for that one, and I see they're rolling up the economic development, code enforcement, and then the Veterans Committee. Are you going to make all of that one committee? Because I see it's still separated.
Veterans will stay separate because from a previous board meeting, I know you guys are doing a project in relation to the veterans. So that's why I left that committee as a separate one and I rolled all the other ones into one because from looking at what you guys actually expended, you guys did not expend it for each of the different committees. So instead of having multiple different line items, I consolidated it all into one line item with the exception of veterans because I knew that there was veterans activity from at least one of the board meetings I attended where there was conversation about veteran programs.
Right, but I would think that all of those committees should be rolled together, even the veterans, because the problem is that there hasn't been any activity with the code enforcement. We were just getting that back going, so we really don't know exactly. So that's why the amount is fine for those committees, but if you're rolling up all of them, I think it should be.
I can make that move.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, hold on.
So I got some stuff, but I'll wait till the second reading because I want to poll the board and just see what y'all thinking.
You want to do what?
I've got some stuff, but I'll just get through the first reading and then I just want to talk to the board about it and when we get to the second and third reading and just see what your idea is. But we just move forward right now.
Okay, and then page 12. Well, if we go over this stuff now, during the next times, we don't have to go over as much. So that's the purpose.
Trustee, can you go back to page 9?
Page 9.
At the top, it looks like the salary is rounded up.
For the village manager?
Yes.
And that is a question I have with a lot of the salaries. A lot of these salaries are all rounded up.
So I rounded everyone's salary, so if they were like 89, 520, I just rounded it to 90. So that was in general for all salaries. I rounded them all off.
But
that does not, sorry to interrupt, it does not mean that you guys are obligated to pay them that salary. That's just from an accounting and mathematics standpoint, it's just easier to round everything off versus having it by each dollar and penny. Because I rounded everything off to 0, 0. Same thing with dollars. Does not obligate any of the village to spend up to that level. It's just from math and the way I usually prepare budgets, I always round them off.
which is understandable, but with salaries, I think that should be something different. Salaries, I think that should be more close to what it actually is than versus rounding it up, because some of these salaries across the board, it could be some for $7,000 that is increased up to $8,000, and then it becomes confusing to others to say, hey, this is what we are budgeted for. So I would think salaries would be more close to exact versus rounding it up.
So is 140 like the proposed for next year, or is just, oh, he just rounded it off?
Highest, yeah.
Right, I'm just saying that that's across the board on all of them. It's not just with this one, it's all of them are rounded up, and that makes all of them much higher than what they actually are. So it's confusing to any of us to know what this is what their salary is supposed to be. But when you put it into the budget, it's the budget. So they can always say, oh no, this is what you budgeted me for, so I should have it. So to me, with salaries, it should be more close to exact than a big old rounded number where it's a $7,000, $8,000 difference.
Well, the argument of this is what you budgeted, this is what I'm entitled to, that is not this. A budget, by definition, is you have the authority to spend up to, does not mean you have to spend that dollar amount. So my response to anyone when you said that is, your budget is up to that dollar amount. It's not, that's what you have to spend to. my easiest response to.
So,
Which is fine, but I would like to see a budget where salaries are real numbers.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else.
I do too, and it's better for the residents because they, you know.
Yeah, and then just keep in mind.
Just keep it clear,
For example, the
for clarity's sake.
2024 budget, that's not my salary, it's 120. But it wasn't what I made that year, it was closer, it was that amount. It wasn't my actual, how much I was supposed to make. So
Because it's looking,
that's the amount that was actually my salary.
because even like with these salaries, it's looking like before you used to have longevity separated, now it's added in. So it's already, to me, is higher than what it is because now you don't see longevity. So to me, I think the salary should be much more closer to what the actual number is versus rounding it up high.
What is the salary? Please don't punch me.
For who?
The village manager is
130.
130.
Okay. I'm just, right, when I'm looking, I get now, I kind of get what everyone was saying.
Yeah, but that's just across the board. That's what, like, they did it for all of them. And I was like, all of these are so much higher than what the actual
So the
really
best
is.
thing is actually have a board and finance committee
Okay.
workshop and get that done with.
I said page 12, didn't I? Page 12, I only have a couple more. Page 12. It's with the staff accountant position. Is that consistent of, I mean, it's much higher than what the actual is. So,
Because my thought is last in 24, that was being split between two different line items. I just consolidated it into one line item because technically for the union contract for that position, the proper union title is accounting tech, not staff accountant, so that's why I threw it all to accounting tech.
so accounting tech, I don't know if we don't, do we have an accounting tech?
We do, that's actually the titles that are listed in the union.
In the union book, but we had them put in there in our stuff.
That's exactly,
wrong.
yeah, it has to because of the talks, the CBA.
So accounting tech, this is what the union says that the salary should be, an additional 30,000?
Based on what the current salary schedule rate is, with, of course, as I build all the other salaries, with it rounded off. So I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but it is 80,000 rounded off. So I don't remember what that exact dollar was.
Versus the actual 54.
54 plus the 53.
54 plus the 53, because somebody, is this one person that's doing two positions?
Yes.
I don't remember, I don't know who we have one person doing both of these positions, staff accounting and accounting tech.
One of the, part of the salary in, I believe, 24, in the prior fiscal year, part of that 53 and 54 is a former employee who was being paid, and part of their salary wasn't there, and part of it was in the two different line items, if I remember correctly, the way.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was being split up for different departments. That makes sense.
Okay. Page 13, for an outside contract, I really think contractual outside contract, that our outside contracts is very high. Have we looked into trying to reduce them? And I see in the comments, we're adding in some things that's been already accounted for other places.
No, in those comments, that's everyone that in FY24 was paid against that line item, or the larger vendors that were paid against that line item.
Right, but I still see them also applied other parts of the budget. So like, for instance, HR is shown somewhere else. So you're like, it's like double.
That was for the village to actually hire a part-time HR person, because the current HR person, her contract expires, I believe, in October.
Right, but I'm saying that's already accounted for. So if we're already accounting for an HR person, why are we going to account for it here too as an outside consultant? That's like having two different people. So outside contract is too high. I just think it's too high. And I don't see why it should be an additional $240,000 for outside contracts.
Well, that does include, our job.
Oh, no, well, we increased from 2023 to 2024 about 200 and something, almost 250,000. I just think that's very high for outside contracts. So if that's something we need to look into, I don't know, that we have to try to reduce some of them, but we shouldn't be paying that much. We are filling positions that we were using outside contracts for. So if we're filling positions, then we shouldn't be still having that line item so high.
Outside contracts also refers to the RICO printers. It's outside contracts.
Well,
It's not just
I'm looking at some of them.
I'm always pronouncing it wrong, but the sprinkler system, Shamball,
Yeah.
that was a contract, so that isn't a typical normal occurrence. When we spent, what was that, $200,000, and that was for that sprinkler. So that is also why it was increased for the sprinkler system.
And Matt Stacy's still in there.
But he was part of the contract before.
Yeah, he's part of that.
Okay, but just overall, I think outside contracts is very high. Next is the page 21. It's a section for part-time personnel. What is this for? Under Public Works. That's a new position?
There is, per the CBA, there is the option of employees, instead of being full-time public works, they can be part-time. I do believe that there are, I think, 2 part-time. That was 2. There's the option in the CBA of having a part-time employee. Yes.
So I'm just saying, is a new position, is a potential of a part-time worker, but what type of worker would it be? Just say part-time personnel?
It would just be a part-time absentee employee that works with, in public works.
Oh, to work in the field?
Yes.
Okay. Not like another secretary?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's why I wanted to make sure that it wasn't clear. Okay, and then page 23, I got a couple more, 2 more after that. I know we talked about before the part-time program coordinator. That position was added last budget period, and I know it's been out there to be a position to be filled, but I see it's not here anymore. We're not doing the part-time program coordinator? Why, and why not? Page 23. So that was the split, because originally we had the community relations liaison, and that position kind of split into 2, which became the community outreach coordinator and the part-time program coordinator. But I see the community outreach coordinator, but it says that the position was eliminated, the part-time program coordinator. That's something I think we need.
I can add that position back in if that's the...
I mean, I know, but I know you had, you got for hiring for that position, so I don't know where we at with the hiring of it, or what's the status. I haven't seen the breakdown of it, so I don't know where we at with that.
No, we haven't hired anyone. We've had a hard time filling that position when we split up the salaries, but it is out there.
So it's still going to remain out there, right?
Yeah, we just haven't filled it at all, and it's been
Okay.
quite a while, so there's no money, being spent out of that line item.
So we still need to add it into the budget. It's not in the budget now.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's not about
Yeah.
That was last budget.
No, it was here it was added in last budget. It was added in last budget, and now it's out this one. So we need to bring it back in, because it's still a position, that we had agreed upon. And I think it's something that's necessary here. So we're going to add that back in. And, okay, page 26. And this is with the golf course. So I'm looking at the revenue versus the expenses. So for the alcohol expense, we have $20,000, but our revenue is only $5,000. That don't make sense. Why are we spending more on what we're going to actually make? Shouldn't our revenue be higher than the expense?
Well, some of the expenses are probably going to use to fund the special events. So I can't split out if we purchase a bottle of beer, if that could be either used for the actual golf course or it could be charged to or be used on events. That's why those two are different.
So
Any purchases of alcohol is an expense, and it should be accounted for. So anybody buying alcohol, they should be paying for it, and we should be receiving revenue. Our revenue should not be $5,000 and our expense $20,000. That doesn't make sense.
So trustee, let me just put this out there. I don't know the exact amount of alcohol that was purchased, but alcohol will not turn over as fast as you see. And I understand what you're saying, but that alcohol that was purchased would make more than the $20,000 over a period of time.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not going to just happen right away. So those bottles, it takes time. It takes time for alcohol to be sold. So it may look upside down right now, but at the end of the day, you're winning because alcohol is, when it comes to purchases like that, it's an investment. It's more of an investment, not an expense. And they've been closed.
And I know we've been closed. I know. I'm just saying in general, when we look at revenue versus expenses, your expenses should not be more than your revenue, especially if we purchase goods, right? So alcohol is a good, so we are purchasing it. If we are buying, if I'm having a party, if anybody throwing a party, right? Anybody throw a party, they're gonna buy alcohol for the party, right? They're gonna spend $5,000 on it, but they're expecting to make $15,000 on that alcohol. So you're telling me that we're gonna spend $20,000 on buying it, and we're gonna only make $5,000. That's backwards to me. Something don't look right. That's my statement.
The issue is we haven't been open, and yes, we haven't used that alcohol. It's sitting there for the majority of it, but we have not been open. The other thing is that in the beginning, we are going to see more expenditures because I'm literally fixing a lot of things. So there's being more money put out right now than money coming in as it relates to the golf course, because you have to consider the deck. You have to consider the carts. You have to consider the lawn equipment. You have to consider things that I have to replace as far as even things like toilet paper, spatulas, all that kind of stuff. So the expenditures are going to be a little more this year, but the money that we spent this year, you will not be seeing that next year.
I understand those other goods, but as for these particular, and the same thing with food, our revenue for the food expense is higher than the revenue that we received, and that's backwards.
If
we're purchasing the food, then we shouldn't be losing money purchasing the food for any of our events or what we're selling it for. So our revenue should be higher for each of those.
So can that amount be projected? Like, for instance, if you, I never owned a bar. I never sold liquor. But if you have this bottle of liquor, you know how many drinks you can get out of there. Then you should be able to project how much you think this one bottle of liquor will bring you in revenues.
But then we don't know, are we going to have 5 events in the next 3 months, or are we going to have no?
It's a projection.
But it's hard to project.
It's hard to project when we don't have past history.
You projected and came up with 5,000?
Because that was a number off of what was actually there, and in all honesty, it was a guess. It was off the whole.
So it's not a real number?
No, and it's going to be more. We are now taking in money. We have, I think, about 4 events scheduled in the next two months. So there's going to be more revenue coming in, but we literally have been closed for this whole year. We were open for only about 2 weeks this whole year.
Can I say something?
That's relatively cheap. It's not the bar.
Yeah, and I had to replace all the alcohol.
Very cheap. That's the bar. Twins spent over $600,000 on it.
Can I say something? I think
in all honesty, it is better to have more than less because you don't know ahead of time what you're going to spend, what you're going to get. It's always good to have some cushion because if you come up short, you're looking crazy. So I know that the figures may not be 100% accurate, but anybody that runs a business knows to purchase more than to purchase less just in case. I mean, I sold Avon for years. I would order cases of SSS, Skin So Soft, because I knew my customers liked that product. So I would buy extra boxes, like she said, you project it. So to me, it makes sense. Pushing for the cushion is what Theo is saying. He's kind of X-rated, but in all honesty, that makes sense to me.
I will increase it, and we did have a couple events, and we have one, I think, in a couple weeks, so I'll increase it. I'll increase it.
Yeah, okay.
We're definitely gonna have a lot more.
Right, that's why it just didn't, it was just off balance, that's all.
Project 100,000, and we don't meet that goal, I'll definitely increase it.
Two more, so just a quick question for page 28, for the supplies and road salt, is that including other stuff or is it just salt?
It's just salt.
So just salt, we're gonna,
The reason why the line items are the way they are is MFT. So I'm projecting that we're going to spend all of our restricted money. So since I only had 2 line items, road salt for maintenance, that's why I basically split them up between what was on street and what was on road salt.
right, it's just that we're projecting 150,000 for road salt?
It's so that way I use the total amount of the restricted monies that we're going to get. So we're getting 420,000 of restricted MFT funds, so does it make it so that it zeroes out between revenues and expenses? That's why I raised them split evenly between the 2 amounts.
That's 15 times the amount.
Yes.
15 times.
I only have 2 line items for MFT to charge expenses to, so as such,
Well, you might have to find some more then. Right? What else can we use the MFT funds for?
MFT funds are mostly restricted to street improvements, street lights,
And we
street
have-
repair, those types of things.
You can use it for trees, but it has to be done if you're doing street repairs. Yeah, it has to be in conjunction.
Well, maybe just,
And a lot of MFT, you have to get it pre-approved before you can, you have to get IDOT to sign off on the project before you actually spend the MFT funds.
The cold patch, the hot patch.
right, so maybe, I'm just saying for the road salt, it could still be a little higher, but maybe the bulk of the rest of that amount should go down to the streets and parkways, right? Instead of just splitting it in half. Because that's where the roads is the most important, that we, not to say most important, but instead of putting 150,000 for road salt, when the actuals is about 60,000, make it, what, 75 or so, and then put that remaining 75 down to the streets and the roads.
Okay, I can make that change.
Okay, last thing is, I know the TIF 5 is about to close. Is that accounted for anywhere in this budget?
Second.
Is that revenue accounted for? I didn't see it anywhere.
The TIF 5 revenue is 11.4 million.
Where's it at? I didn't see it.
It's the very first line.
Taxes.
Page 34.
34. Okay, and that's, maybe if we put that in, if you put that as in the comment, just a,
Sorry.
I said maybe if you add that in the comment so we'll know that that's what that's accounting for, that 11.4 million.
The 11.4 million, that's the real estate taxes that they're paying through December of this year.
Right, I'm saying, I know it's about to close, so all these taxing districts are going to receive their portion once closed, right?
All that money comes to your separate, totally separate entity of TIF 5 that you have to pay out in accordance with your economic development agreements.
Right, so whatever's remaining, I'm saying the remaining. So it's going to be something remaining, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see how much is left over.
Y'all don't know yet.
Well, you guys have, so for most of your economic agreements have 75%, 25% split. So you guys owe the developer 75%, the remaining 25% goes to the village to expend on TIF eligible expenses. Once you guys expend, if you expend up to the 25%, then there's nothing left over to give back to the other taxing districts. If there's stuff left over, then you give back to the taxing district. But if there's nothing left over, it's all village funds at that point.
I thought I was working on that, breaking down to figure out what's the difference.
Yes.
Y'all haven't figured it out yet.
We got through all of that just yet.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
It don't matter whether it's Ms. Scott or Chris. So I know I would have been up here approaching 8 years, and I just want to make sure that when I do comb through this even more, the normal, I would say, in 2017 to 2019, the operation cost of the village was about $9 million, but our revenue was more of 7.5, and I'm imagining it had to get, it probably had got a little bad during COVID, but I'm just going to be honest, under Ms. Beck-Fulcom, she has took us on a spin because the following year of 2020, in that budget, we went from a $9 million operating cost, which can be plausible, but to go up to 14 million. But yet we never seen the revenue come in the way it should. So I guess the question, or maybe this would be more of a statement, and it can get an understanding. So when I'm looking at this 2025 year, and I'm looking at the final budget year of 2023, revenue of we'll say 12.5 million, and our expenditures was 13.5 million. And our actuals I see here in 2023 was up more of 14.2, but the revenue 14.2, but the expenditures was 12. Where would all this money come from? Would it, we're not doing, I guess that would be, where would all these numbers, I noticed they're steady going up, up, up. And the only reason why I'm saying that is bringing it into a question is because if you were a trustee during that period of time, we know the village, really the revenue, the tax base alone is about $7 or $8 million, and we never really went past that. And I'm just being honest because it even led to an FBI investigation because we kept borrowing from the TIF. But I want to make sure that the point we're at right now, the revenue, is this coming from the TIF? Where exactly would it coming from? Because I know I'm looking here for 2025, 15 million. Where would that revenue come from? I understand we were rounding up some things, but also at the same time, when we start talking about actuals, again, you're talking about a trustee who's been here forever, and I'm just being honest, the numbers that Ms. E put up here to the board, and it has been extremely out of order ever since. I just don't understand. I can see us spending 14 million, but I'm trying to figure out where we get 14 million, and where can we actually prove where this revenue come from outside, because we got the TIF closed, but even on page 34, if I'm not mistaken, that's only like $500,000. So that would put us, let's say, hypothetically, if you Trustee Brooks and you remember how the budget was from the moment when we came in 17 trying to get this financial crunch, this crisis together, and I'm gonna say it was a financial crisis. That $500,000 would have pushed us to, at least $8 million. So is the extra money coming from anticipation from golf course? Is the extra money going to be anticipation from truck enforcement, fines, permits? Because I think one excuse Ms. E gave, and I'm going to say it's an excuse because she never provided proof, was that she said a lot of it was from fees from the construction out here in TIF 7. So will we be able to provide and show that we will generate this revenue on a steady basis compared to what I know that we really do get in from the county and our normal operating costs? Because at the end of the day, I'm just being honest with the previous village manager. I told her, there's no way you sitting up here saying that this village is running off $14 million and we did not hire anybody. The police department is a skeleton. The fire department running a skeleton. Village hall is running a skeleton. So I just want to make sure as I look down here and I see that we, the number, to me, it would look good, but I want to make sure that we'll be able to prove, we will be able to prove every dime that's coming in. I want to more be accountable for everything that we have done, just in case, let's say I don't feel like being up here next year. But at least I can tell you where this money went.
Yes, so some of the reasons why we have such an increased revenue, Chris can chime in, but the ambulance.
Okay.
When they do the only, right now, Carpenter hasn't done the online sale, so when they get, it's just real estate taxes. So then I would anticipate within the next 60 days, they'll probably be selling online, and we'll get the online sale tax from Carpenter as well.
So, and then too, Ms. Scott, let me just ask, in which I know that when we go to page 26 to talk about the revenue of the golf course, we can, and this is the complaint I had during our summer session, everyone keeps looking at Western, then they come look at us. Is it plausible to generate close to $1 million or so at that golf course if we open on time and have grass cut and really just get them moving? Is it plausible to have the golf course be indeed a revenue generating? Because I'll say this, when we were under the Billy Casper contract, we didn't lose. We didn't lose until we got CHW Group. I'm just going to be honest. And, you know, even though I'm not even going to dive into CHW Group, but we were able to make revenue. But are we in a position now that that golf course can indeed become a revenue-generating facility for University Park at this point?
Revenue generating, yes. The challenge for me right now is to get the golfers back. So you're seeing people on the field, that's because I'm telling them that we're back open, they're not paying for golf, and they're golfing. And I had to do that because we weren't getting anyone to come in the doors. Now that we are offering free golf to get people acclimated, I'm collecting a spreadsheet. So right now at the golf course, anytime someone comes, although they're not paying, we are keeping a running tab with the names, information, how much revenue that would have generated so we can calculate. So when I looked as of yesterday, just if we had been open for 2 weeks with the people that are coming in, we would have generated around $7,000.
Okay.
So that's the way I have to consider.
For 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
2.5 weeks since we've been open. So I'm trying to be able to project numbers because obviously before that there were financials that I could readily view to get a true history snapshot of money that was being expended and money that was being run by the golf course. But now I'm simulating that so that we can see the potential. And keep in mind the number of people that are coming in, we may not have gotten 40 to 50 golfers if we had, had them packed.
Okay.
After we get it together, I am going to probably review some of the fees that we have. But right now, the fact that we're still getting it back up, it looks beautiful now, but there's still some fine tuning to be done. I don't think it's fair to raise the prices right now, but however, our prices are relatively low when I compare them to about a half a dozen other golf courses, including the food portion.
Okay. And I'll just say that, every budget needs fine-tuning and residents always like things to be simple, and here it is. I got 6 reasons that do make sense. I just want to make sure that when we start talking about going from 7.5 million to now we're at 15 million. Like I said, one thing for sure is that I don't want us to be in position of borrowing anymore. There were people that were sitting right there with me when that FBI agent said, you're not supposed to be transferring that money. Some people remember that, and it was not trust me. When a set of eyes look at you a certain way and tell you what you're not supposed to be doing, I'm not going to go to jail for nobody. But I'm glad that we're in this position. And we do not owe any TAR loans. I'm assuming that those were paid off because Ms. E didn't say one word. One word. That was her. Well, I don't talk about people when they're gone, but thank you for your response.
was simply going to say, I do have some concerns with the clerk's budget, but we can get together and discuss that before we bring it back for second and third reading.
Professional, Madam Clerk.
Okay.
Is that it?
There has got to be a way to make that bigger, to make this print bigger.
Increase the print.
Chris said he didn't know how to do it.
Eliminate some of the rows, I can increase the print, or I can get rid of the notes, and that will increase it.
We need the notes.
I can remove additional columns, so instead of having 2 years of back history, I can have last year's actual and then the budget.
Would it be better on the iPad?
Okay.
We'll put it on bigger paper, but it's not gonna be this size, it'll be the,
11 by 12.
the 11 by 12 size, but that's the only way to increase it, because I do think we should leave all the numbers in. So trustee, I'll try to see if we can try it tomorrow with the bigger paper.
Was that it, good?
That's it.
Oh, okay. All right, we got a first and a second by Trustee Lewis, and a second by McFadden. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
This,
It's for the first reading of the 2024-25 budget. Yes, only the first reading.
right. Trustee Lewis. Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Folger.
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Both sides.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Mayor Rudez. Mayor Rudez.
Side, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Item F1E, attached for your approval is a listing of our general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on August 1st, 2024, and through September 11th, 2024. General Fund, $431,231. Road and Bridge, $79,762. Town Center Fund, $1,702.09. Capital Project Fund, $14,734 and 23. TIP 5, $7,618. TIP 7, $740. Payroll Fund, $4,564.92, with the grand total of $540,352.42. Is there a motion, please? Moved by Lewis. Is there a second to pay the bills?
Second.
Second by McFadden.
Question.
All right, go ahead.
So for Odelson, Murphy, and Frazier, I see this bill for July work. Is this, and I couldn't see the invoice, couldn't pull up the invoice. So is this for the Park District court action? To put the referendum on the ballot? Is that what that's for? Or a part of it?
What number you say, trustee?
What page?
The first page.
11, 24, 20.
And 21.
August attorney fees for July work and August attorney fees for July work.
What are you talking about Park District on there?
Because I see there's a court action allowing for a referendum to go on the ballot for Park District that Odelson did the work for the defendant, not us. They didn't do the work for us. They did the work for the people who filed the petition.
Yeah, okay.
So we need to pull that until we give some more information.
Okay. What else, trustee?
Which one, 21?
That's what I'm looking for.
Both, because I don't know what's what. Can't tell what's what.
We're pulling both of them.
And I have a question about Compassion House Ministries. That's 2319 for $6,000.
I can't. Who is that?
Is that for the flames? Is that for the flames?
I don't know what that's for. That's what I'm saying.
That's Illinois Flames.
Where?
Do you know what page that's on?
That's on,
But I think that
I can
is
tell you
how-
the number. It's 2319.
I wish y'all would be calling in and do this stuff before you.
All the pages have number one.
Page 5. They all say one, but just count 5 pages. Yeah, that's the plan.
It says track club operations reimbursement.
That's the Illinois Plains Track Club.
And why are we paying them?
That's part of it. You probably.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So that's what they just call it, is the youth committee. They just call it that.
Ms. Scott, I don't think this is it. Did we ever spray for mosquitoes yet? I have not.
She said she wanted to
No one has seen them. No one has seen them. I did an informal. I haven't seen them, and I've asked residents. Nobody's seen this company.
Yeah, they normally come like at between 11 and 2 in the morning. If you live on Farmview, tell me if I'm crazy, but I have not seen them, or right, at all, and they are tearing us up over there.
I can contact them to come back out.
Yeah.
Even have them come out before the back to school event because it was so bad that they came out an extra time, but I can definitely, we can reach out to them.
Okay.
Is there somewhere specifically you want them to spray?
I mean, mainly, I want to
hear them.
Yeah, I want to hear, yeah, because they were pretty good about, they come down Clover, Old Forest Lane, up in the court, they'll spin around in the court with the little pickup truck and the fall coming out. So the reason why I was asking, I didn't know if we changed it because I see something here that says common sense turf management, but it says spray application. I didn't know if that dealt with mosquitoes because sometime I see on sometime on the bills payable that that's what they would fall under.
So common sense turf is are the people who come to do abatement for the grass at the lawn, at the golf course.
Oh.
And that's completely different. Like they have to give special spray for the golf. And then they're going to be back to do our winterization coming up soon and to also do the aerating.
Okay. Yeah, no, if they can come back out, because I know I see the $115,000 bill, but no, we, at least over on the Farmview residents over there, we have not seen them.
And it is Clark Environmental Mosquito Management. That's what it is. Sometimes you'll see it on Bill Clark.
Yeah, Clark, yeah. I haven't seen a little pickup truck with the spray on it this summer. I'm also seeing here something in reference to the farm, and I guess the question comes up. Ms. Scott, did we receive any money from the state in reference to Regal Farm improvement?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
There's more money coming.
Okay, so please pardon me. Things still look wiggly with me, with one eye. Because I thought I just seen something that said 30,000 on here. Does someone see it?
You did.
Okay.
One page 5 again, 112325. Regal Farm Improvement Project, $34,081.
Okay. That wouldn't be connected to the swings and all that we're, or what's that, the top lot we see coming up?
That's not related to the top lot.
Okay.
No, and that was part of the grant.
Okay.
If you want, I can send the board the breakdown of how much money we've received, just specifically for Rico Farm. And we just got the money in, and I haven't even deposited the check. We just got a check in. For a little over $200,000.
Okay.
For another grant. That was for the migrant grant, and that's a reimbursement grant. And we just got that in the Metropolitan Mayor's office. Yes.
Okay.
So I haven't even deposited that check.
All right.
The FABX Technologies,
FABX.
FABX Trustee.
Buybacks?
FAB.
Oh, FAB.
Technology for Rico Farm.
I yield my time.
All right.
Okay, I have a couple questions. For Antero Group, do they have a new fee schedule? Because I was reading their notes and they were saying this is the pricing for previous fees, and now this is the new fees. Did they submit a new?
I don't believe so, but I think maybe you're thinking of John Casperic's company. That one had a slight increase in schedule fees, but I don't recall that it was Antero. But I can double check that I think Casperic went up slightly for one of the accountants.
Okay, it could have been, I put Antero Group, so I'm not, it could have been Casperic, but I thought it was Antero Group. But they had a new fee schedule. They had some increase too. So if they have, with those, could you let us know the changes in their pricing? Okay. Second, for check number 112311, Brave Dialogue, and this is with John Cohen for the Town Hall. From my understanding, when I talked to you, Mayor Rudez, all of those representatives that came with you were being taken care of out of your campaign fund.
Not John Cohen, but other people were, yes. That's why it's only one bill. Yes.
Because I didn't really see John Cohen really doing anything. Oh, I saw the other ones, but I didn't see him doing it. But my understanding
Jeff Cohen.
Jeff,
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
My apologies, Jeff Cohen. But all of them came with you, and that was my understanding that you would take, that was part of your bill. So that's not something I don't think that we should
So that
be.
is the only bill that I approved, and that's the only one that was charged. And Jeff Cohen, from my understanding, when I look back, he's been here in previous years, and his bill was previously 800 because I checked that. I remember that was one of the things I checked, and I think he charged 500.
Yeah, it was 500. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure, because I know that's one of the things that you stated.
That's all good.
Other thing is, I have the concerns as well with the Odison Fraser, the law firm, in regards to the fees that they're charging for the Park District. So as I'm reading through.
There's no fees in there for, okay, go ahead, say what you're going to say. There's no fees in there for a Park District.
As I was reading through the bills payables or in their report, as in what they have been doing, part of what their different things that they were doing is with the Park District. First of all, that's something that the board did not discuss about us do anything with a Park District or approving a Park District, or that we all agreed to this is what we want, to have a Park District on the referendum. But this is something that the mayor has worked with and has got onto the ballot for this November the 5th, not being transparent and letting everybody else know about it, but this is something that he did. So as for this, there's a petition that was put out there by a minimum of like 100 people, and we are being billed for the attorney work. We should not be billed for anything that have to do with the Park District. So just on this bills payable, I calculated $1,632.02. I want all of those to be pulled, and I don't want it to be paid, because this does not have anything to do with the village. This is something that have to do with some petitioners that themselves did, and if the attorneys want to do pro bono for them, that's on them. But us as the village, we're not paying for something for a group of petitioners to be petitioning the courts and getting a referendum on the agenda behind the entire board's back. So I want to pull all of those, and not just those, to be also reimbursed for any attorney fees that was charged to the village that has already been paid in regards to Park District.
Can I add on to that?
And it was-
Previous bills payables had charges for Park District research and...
Right, it was previous ones, and I thought that was just something that they was researching, that it was going to be discussed with the entire board. It was not discussed with the entire board, but it was moved forward, and it went to court, had a hearing, everything was posted. This is something that was done by the village without the entire board, nor the residents. A lot of the residents were not aware of it as well. So, as of this bills payable, it was several, which was on July 8th, 2 for July 8th, July 18th, July 20th, July 8th, July 24th, which came out to a total of $1,632.02. So I want those to be pulled and not paid, and then reimbursed for any previous payments that we did. And then, and please make note of that.
No, I'm going to ask you for something.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They wasn't, it wasn't a part of the invoice. It was actually a part of their breakdown with their fees and schedule and who the person that did it. Yes. And then my last thing on the bills payable would be for Joe Rudez. It was for $400. It was for reimbursement for the choir at the parade, but there was no receipt. So I can't, without a receipt, we can't be reimbursing people for. I didn't see a receipt.
I think it was a receipt.
No. Okay. So if it was a receipt, then I didn't see it. What was a part of the packet was just the actual total invoice for $700.
No, I gave you a deposit of $400.
I'm sorry, but they didn't put it, they didn't include it. You could have, that's what I'm saying. It could have been there. It was just not included in the packet. So until that is presented, I would like for that to be pulled as well.
Okay.
That'll be it for me.
Yes, Madam.
Do we not need a motion? Is this, yeah. We'll need a motion.
We do need a motion.
To pull.
To pull those bills that you guys discussed. So I need a motion and a second to proceed forward.
I motion to pull the bills from attorneys Oderson, Fraser, Murphy, all of them. Those 6 bills in regards to the Park District for this bills payable, which is totaled out to an amount of $1,632.02. Also for the check for Joe Rudez for $400 until the receipt has been provided. And then I'm not sure if any of I couldn't remember if the other trustees, was there anything else that needs to be pulled? Well, that's it. So I motion for those.
Second.
Who's the second?
Jewel Thompson.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, because of the lengthy amount of items being pulled, no, I'm requesting that Trustee Folger provide me in writing all of the items that she mentioned.
Sure.
Will we hold the meeting up now, or when will I get them?
Okay. We got a motion and a second to not to pay the attorney's fees. Roll call, please, Madam.
No, there was more than just the attorney fees. That's why.
The items that Trustee
It's not right. It's not the total attorney fees. It's those particular items for the attorney fees, and then the one check.
Okay. We waiting on the roll call, Madam Clerk.
No, I'm trying.
You trying to get it together?
Are you going to email me that list? Okay.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Now we'll need a motion to amend for bills payable.
Okay, I need a motion to amend.
No, I'm sorry. We need to do roll call.
Roll call.
This one.
Roll call. This is to pull those bills that Trustee Boucher had concerns about. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis.
Both sides.
Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Folger.
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Both sides.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Mayor
I
Rudez.
concur.
Mayor Rudez.
All right. Here we are,
Okay.
last item for this special meeting with general public comments. Mr. Millie was the only one signed for this last meeting. We've got the next meeting coming up for general public comments as well. All right, Ms. Mildred? No? Okay. All right, thank you. Is there a motion for adjournment, please? All in favor? We're gonna take a 5-minute recess. We got business to do.
Y'all will give me a chance. Motion to amend. Okay, who called the adjournment? I can't even find my stuff.
I certainly will. Oh,
Hey, done.
So, if no one's there to accept that,
Bueno.
No hablan. No, you gotta put your face all the way up to it.
Okay. I'm gonna get a whistle that know how to do it.
1, 2, 3.
Ya ves, tienes que ponerlo hasta tu boca.
That's how it works. Nothing I can do. That's how it works.
Yeah, replace his microphone.
Shit.
Look, how we twist our face?
Please. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis.
Present and accounted for.
Trustee Marquette. Trustee.
Frankie Beverly moment.
They take the golden time of day.
Trustee McFadden.
Present.
Trustee Folger.
Present.
Trustee Thompson.
Present.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Brooks.
Present.
Mayor Rudez.
I'm here, Madam Clerk. Let us stand for our Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Got a couple of minutes? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are just coming tonight, our decorum has changed a little bit. So, this first public section is only to address agenda items only. The other general public will be down at the end. So, if there are any general public comments regarding the things on the agenda, go right ahead. And I see Ms. Donna Detburn.
I am Donna Detbarn, and I am a 53-year resident of University Park, and I'm also the Monee Township Supervisor. And I wanted to talk to you about the levy. I know there's been discussion on, wow, if we put the TIF 5 back on, it's going to increase our levy, and people are afraid already of taxes. But that's isn't going to happen because that's not how the whole scheme of it works. The important thing I want to make sure you know, though, is that it's very important that you do recapture the whole TIF dollars, and it can only be done in the year that this TIF is being dissolved. And I've worked with other TIFs over the many years I've been supervisor, and this was the one thing that I learned very well. And then, but just in case I was checking my facts, I went online and it said, yep, if you want to recapture TIF from expiring TIFs, it says you have the ability to capture a portion of the revenue from the incremental EAV by adding it to their tax levy following the TIF's district's dissolution. But you don't get anything, extra money, if you don't increase your levy on that. Also, I talked to Britt Hitchens, who is the person in the tax extension office that I work with all the time and helps me with getting my levies right and everything. And I just said, okay, I just want to double check to make sure, because this is a huge amount of money that's going to be coming back to the village, which I think we need in the village because we want to expand our programs to our people and fix our roads and do everything that it needs to be done in our village. And then also, of course, for me as a township supervisor, it also, on a much smaller scale than what the village and what the school district gets, it will also help us increase our budget in our township, because that way in a process of renovating my township building and adding the extra food pantry, because we have a lot of people in need of food, and so that's what we're planning on using our money for. So it's really important that every taxing body in the district has to hold a truth in taxation hearing, because Will County is a tax cap county, which means you can usually only go up to 5%. But but what you all have to do is we all have to do a black box notification published in the newspapers that says, here is what we are wanting to do, this is how we're wanting to expand, but we have to do it, because if you do not, we will not get the money. If you do not add your TIF money back now, you'd lose it forever. I mean, the EAV goes back on the EAV rolls, but the money itself doesn't come back into your coffers. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands this because it's so important. It's for our growth and for my township growth, too. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. So, Ms. Detbarn, you support these efforts?
I definitely think, we must get, it's hard this time of year. I mean, we're all up for election this next year. I know our board's up for 4 years. And so it's painful. But I've been putting out in my township newsletter for the last 3 newsletters, don't worry, this isn't going to raise your taxes significantly. So don't be afraid, but it is going to help us build things and make things better for the village and also for the township. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Is there anybody else who'd like to comment on this agenda items? Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor Rudez, Village Board. My name is Jason Okrzinski. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations for Crete-Moniz School District 201U. And as Donna stated, the school district fully supports the capturing of the increase in EAV for tax year 2024 in the levy. That is the district's stance. That is our position. And we intend to hold a Truth and Taxation meeting to capture all the value from the properties in TIF 5. Our intention to use those funds for TIF 5 are to go forward with our short-term facility plan, which includes sportsplex at the high school and some 7 classroom additions at the middle school. Without capturing the EAV this year when the TIF dissolves, we would then lose that money and we would not be able to fund those projects. So that is the school district's intention. We fully support increasing the levy to capture the EAV, and this will be treated as new money. So that will not see a reflection in the taxes. It's new money to the district that will, not in the district, and also the village, that will allow them to take on projects that they normally can't finance within the existing budget without raising the taxes on the taxpayer. So from the district standpoint, we fully support the raising of the levy to capture the EAV. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's our last public comment regarding the agenda items. So we'll move on to business discussion items. Item 518, discussion of the 2024 tax levies. Go ahead. Okay. All right, Chris and John.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, department heads, many school officials, as well as residents of the village of University Park. Today we intend to show you a PowerPoint presentation related to the closure of the TIF and the financial impact it could mean to the village. And I think the supervisor was right on cue when she said that this is a one-time, one-shot. I kind of look at it from a standpoint that the closure of the TIF is going to bring over $84 million of new EAV. Your current EAV sits around 160 plus million. So this is about almost a 60% increase in your EAV. The TIF district generates, and will be shown again this more in detail, over $11 million annually in revenue. $3.5 million of that is directly related to the taxes of the village of University Park. And so what we would like to do today is to show the presentation. We'll answer any questions related to the TIF, and as the supervisor and the superintendent both pointed out, which I know I've already been in contact with your attorneys, we've been talking about it. Yes, there will have to be a truth in taxation, but I think it's real important to understand that the truth in taxation was not a law that was passed at the time to take a TIF into consideration, because these are one-time, one-shot opportunities. And while we have tax caps, notwithstanding tax caps, we have, because the school district has the caps, we don't have the caps because we're a home rule community. But notwithstanding, if we want to capture that new money that means we have to levy for it. And we're going to show you through graph presentations, we're going to show you tax rates that are not going to go up, but actually go down slightly. We're going to show that the taxes, what we want to do is still have...
You said they'll go down slightly?
Well, yes, very slightly.
Okay.
Very slightly.
Okay.
Okay, like you'll see it, we're not talking big dollars. I wouldn't go out and buy an expensive meal with this, but at the same time, it's not going up. What we want to do is keep the burden of the taxes in the industrial complex. They've been paying those taxes. There's no reason not to have them to continue to pay the taxes. So hopefully we succeed in being able to show you how how the closure of the TIF and how it's going to impact the village of University Park. And we do have some graphs that will also show the breakdown of the tax levies. The school district obviously has the biggest percentage of how much new dollars would be created, but we're basically focused just on the village itself. So unless anybody has a question of me right now, I'm going to give it to Chris. I think everybody knows Chris. He's a manager in our firm. He's put together this PowerPoint presentation. We worked on it. The idea here today is to just familiarize yourself, because this is not something that happens all the time. This doesn't happen in every municipality every week. You read the newspaper, another TIF is closing. And what really makes this TIF unique is the size of the TIF. Remember what I said, $84 million. Most TIFs very rarely get over 10 million. So, in fact, they're typically even smaller. So, without it, if there's no other questions, Chris?
Chris, the lights.
Okay. So the tax levy, when it comes to TIFs, which you should think of it as two separate entities. You have the village, and then you have TIF 5. The village's EAV is about 161 million, with the village taxing about 6.6 million for a tax rate of about 4.12%. TIF 5's EAV is about $86 million. That is completely and totally separate from the village. The village has no tax dollars that it gets from that 86 million in EAV. The TIF 5 tax levy is about $11.8 million in taxes that it generates, which equates to a 13.6 tax rate for the people, the businesses in TIF 5. The residents and all the people within the village, when we take into all of the different taxing bodies, the school districts, the townships, the county, when we take all those things into consideration, the tax rate is 13.6% for all of them. So both groups, the village and TIF 5, they both pay a tax rate of 13.6%. So this is to show how the village's overall EAV has been increasing over the last 10 years or so. So from 2013, we had about $112 million to what we currently have with $161 million. So the overall village EAV has been increasing, which is how, when we take your tax levy, that's what creates your tax levy. Your tax rate for the village portion is what we assess as the tax levy divided by the EAV. The village's tax levy, this is what we normally pass every December, is what you assess as taxes from the village perspective. So what we had is, for 2023's tax levy, we have about a 6.6 million. In 2022, we had a 6.9 million. We had a $300,000 decrease in our tax levy between 22 and 23. Now, this is to show the last 10 years of how our tax rate from the village perspective has changed. We went to a little over 4.9% in 2013 to now we have a little under 4.3%. So our tax rate has slowly been decreasing. TIF 5. When TIF 5 opened, a part